you than for them.
Okay.
All right. So what we're doing, this is what we do. We do video inbound marketing. Now you've got content marketing, which many people think that's what this is. And it's content marketing, and then there is influencer marketing. There is direct response marketing. We spell really bad here some days. All right, let's see if this is working. Oh, all right, so we got 9 people. It seems to be working. So this is pretty much what we do, except we do all of this in video marketing. Now, content marketing is a blog. It's it's a real whiteboard. Blogs, videos. Now, remember when you were asking, how could all of these people have all of these followers but not make any money? What they were doing, and they didn't understand it, they were doing content marketing. You put up a video, you put up a blog post, you put up a tweet, anything that's content, and you're putting it out there, but typically it has no purpose. This is where most people go wrong. They'll put content out, and they'll put it out, and it doesn't have a purpose, and then it also doesn't have an audience. So you have many people doing this, but they're not making any money, because it's just kind of like, you show up at the club, you might get a good date. You show up at the mall, you might catch a good deal. But that's where a lot of people go wrong. So they'll put the content marketing out, and I need to get my other phone to see what the chats are going to be like. Because when you do live stream on your phone, you miss, the chats are super quick. Well, it's already put a commercial there.
Talking to your X1 voice remote instead of typing with it.
Now, this is really interesting. Okay, I can skip that. So, let's see. Where's the chat? There we go. We got Jelani, what's up? Nigel's back, owning it. Tiger Sharks, what's going on? So, I'll be checking the chats here intermittently. But this is where most people go wrong with content marketing. Now, influencing marketing is a certain audience.
Segmented demographic.
Yeah, audience, demo. Now, a lot of influencers become unintentional marketers. Let's say you want to do skateboards, and you love skateboards. I got a friend, he's always putting his skateboard videos on Facebook. So you're a skateboarder, you're all part of the skateboard culture, and then you get big, you become an influencer. Now, most of the time, this is accidental. They're not setting out to be an influencer, but they become one. If they don't set out to be an influencer and they become one, it can be hard to make money. A lot of them make money because if you're doing, let's say, skateboards, that's a big market. There's a big skateboard culture. If you're doing beauty, huge. If you're doing cameras, that's a huge thing. You're doing tech's huge. If you're doing sneakers, sneaker culture is huge. So if you're a guy or a girl and you're doing sneaker culture, you're putting out your kicks and you just get really good at it, you can become an influencer. Now, direct response is finding an audience and asking them to do something. Direct response is typically the fastest way to make money online. That's why you have all of these people doing Facebook ads. Because you do your testing, fastest way to make money. But it's also the most expensive way. Let's say you're a skateboarder and you're an influencer. Come up here and become an influencer and you start to get the game. Then what happens is you're going to spend money on YouTube ads or Facebook ads to grow your income. But as you do that, other people will see what you're doing because everything online is transparent. So they'll find out what keywords you're using, and then they'll start competing against you. If you're first to market, you can win because no one will compete with you because they don't know it exists. Let's see what we got here. What's up, Art? Actually, it's Whiteboard Tuesday, but I was thinking of a Whiteboard Wednesday. Radio Control Trucker. You can also use influence marketing to project your business into the view of customers or your competitors and sponsors. Yeah, you can. You can do all that. But what happens is, if you're an influencer, your market's going to change. I don't care what you sell, how you sell it, it's going to change. And then that's all you can do. If you're doing skateboards, that's pretty durable. Beauty is durable. Cameras and tech could also be the same thing, and sneakers. But we'll get rid of all that stuff. I mean, that's just to kind of let you know what we do, how we do it. Now we're going to talk about why video marketing actually kicks all that in the ass. So you've got YouTube is the king of video right now. Facebook is the king of current event video. All video, Facebook, current event. Like if you want to see someone shot on camera, that's going to be on Facebook. If you want to see, I mean seriously, if you want to see someone getting their ass kicked, drama, that's Facebook. If you want to see what I call storefront preachers, people with an agenda, storefront preachers, that's Facebook. But you want how to, that's YouTube. You want cartoons, that's YouTube. You want movies, that's YouTube. You want porn, there's a lot of porn on YouTube. It's shocking at times. That's YouTube. So both of them are leaders, but in different things. Now, this is where YouTube wins. Ranked videos. I got videos that are 5, 6, 7 years old that still make money. When you do Facebook, you can make money. You spend enough, you got a good audience, you got a good funnel, you can make a lot of money. But once you stop spending, the money goes away. Life has changed, be prepared. Okay. They're funny. So what we do is use ranked videos and storytelling content. I think that's right. Story content, that works. Because when I wrote my first book, I sold it by talking about my life as a storage auction person. So that prompted a lot of sales, and that created the channel. Now, that stuff, that's really, it's gonna be more complicated, but that's really it in a nutshell. So this is also for the people who are wondering what's going on. Because there's two companies. There's Hustlers Kung Fu and Mac with a K, because everybody keeps taking the K off. And I sound like Mr. Phillips, my 8th grade social media teacher. I know he's laughing at me right now. All right, so this is an education channel. This is let's see. Is business, education, and Mac Daddy Media is a consulting business. It's an agency.
You said business education.
Yeah, Hustlers Kung Fu is how to start a business, how to hustle, those types of things. Let's see, I don't want to sign the chat. Also, it is blazing hot in here. This is funny. Yeah, it's just warm. But I will be back in a second. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go somewhere in a minute, but yeah, you're about to be on camera again.
Oh. Okay.
Matter of fact, you can just come up here, and you know what we're talking about at lunch. You can talk about what you want to do with your business. Because see, one of the things we're gonna do is we're gonna do a YouTube channel for her, and we're gonna do all the back scene stuff. All right, I'll be right back.
All right, give me a moment.
I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll chit chat. He's breaking down what these two are. For me, in general, we talked about at lunch, since he asked for me to cover this. We talked about, hi everyone, Valencia, just to let you guys know I'm back again. We talked about bridging the gap with how YouTubers who have tons of followers literally make no money. Like it actually blows my mind how lack of money that they have in terms of how little money that they have versus the impact and the following they have. And then there's people who have maximized their following and learned how to turn a profit and build a business off of that. So the things that I want to accomplish coming on board is to actually show you guys and show any of the newcomers how to build a business in fashion and in retail in general from scratch. So I want to show the whole process of trial and error, which is pretty much from inception or the conception of the whole process to like actually completion, or actually getting the brand up and showing you guys the process of how it's going. What are my fast months? What are the slow months? This isn't my first time to the rodeo when it comes to this. I've done it with several other brands and a few startups and streetwear brands. So he did touch on like skateboard and like the skateboard lifestyle. So I wanted to show those things to you guys. Oh, thank you. So I wanted to show you guys those things and show it is difficult because I actually struggle with finding that type of content. Oh, thanks so much. I struggled. I don't know if anyone else out there struggled. Hey guys, if anyone else struggled with getting, finding content, if you wanted to start a business, especially in like fashion and like actually seeing the trials and tribulations, or people like kind of showing you the whole process, but it feels like it's always kind of filtered, or they want to show you the high moments, and they kind of touch on the low moments, but they don't really go into like the issues and the struggles that you come across in terms of production, in terms of buyers, or if you're selling a product to like Nordstrom's and stuff, like how they give you a consignment option versus like paying you outwards like some of the smaller boutiques would do. That's like something I'll discuss. It's really messed up, but I'll discuss it later. Oh, hold up. What we got? Yeah, so those are the things that I wanted to pretty much touch on. Oop, camera's back. I'm out.
No, it's crazy hot in here for me. Okay.
Yeah, I got a whole coat on. I'm like sitting on it.
I am like, it's all right. Matthew. They're funny. Let's see, this is pretty good. Everyone struggles to create content. People who know their industry don't realize how little others know about them. I mean, that's a big thing.
Yeah, like they really don't. It's difficult and it really sucks because that's why people are like, oh, I have to come up with my own blueprint when it's really a standard blueprint. It's just no one shares it with you.
No. Like the consulting. Like, all right, we're gonna go with the business education. One of the things that we're gonna do that's really different than before is really educate people. Like, this space is pretty nice. We have training rooms, so it's going to be a live event, probably September, and it's going to deal with inbound video marketing. But back to what's happening with Hustlers Kung Fu and Mac Daddy Media. I'm going to create marketing courses. I'm going to teach you guys exactly what I do. Now, here's the rub. There's going to be a lot of this because there's Mac Daddy Media. Let's just go Mac. There's going to be a physical product and two more things. I'm waiting to get some information. So we're going to do the marketing course and you're going to see the results for the new companies. She hit me up today. Where I think is going to be very interesting because, like, talking about what she wanted to do with her business. Now, I haven't been a reseller in God knows when. And there are a lot of people who wanted me to do reselling courses, but she's currently reselling. And we're going to do a course on how to take a YouTube channel and use it to increase your eBay or Amazon sales. For those of you who are still there, and for those of you, or Shopify. Actually, that's a good point because we're doing this, we're in the process of doing exactly that for a client who's going to have a website, a blog, YouTube channel, and one more thing. I will not be able to show you that because I'm under contract, so I can't talk about that. But what I can do is use these other companies and show you the exact same stuff. So that's going to be really interesting. It's going to be fun. You finally called a live stream. I've seen you before, Leroy. All right, I'm struggling to find staff to help me in my business. Aren't we all? You saw the stream this morning, aren't we all? I have one contractor who is good and a program who is awesome. I want to get to 10 employees to scale. Any tips or books? Okay, we're going to answer that question. We're just going to leave that up there. And this is more behind the scenes stuff. Okay. This is what I call practical hiring. Now, I've talked about this, but I haven't hired anybody in 10 years, right? Other than VAs. So I had to get back into what I knew how to do. So she got the job, and I didn't tell her this, because we were being really transparent. But after she sent her resume, we saw stuff that we liked. And after she did the video, because I said, hey, do this 30-second video introducing yourself. And she did like a minute. And I was like, okay, the job's hers to lose. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I asked, matter of fact, how many people do you think I asked to do that same thing? Just put it in the comments. Let's see. Just go ahead and put that in the comments. How many people do you think? The Hectors 20? Nope. Higher. Tiger Sharks 100? Nope. Lower.
65.
Nope. Nope. All right.
38.
I asked 50 and 2 did it. 2 out of 50. So, and 1 got scared. I don't know what it was. I was, cause you met David. David and I was talking, and I said, I'm gonna hire 4 people, but I'm gonna hire them in 2s in case somebody disappears. I didn't expect her to do what she did, but I was ready for it. Because you never know. So let's see. That's an extremely poor batting average. It's extremely poor. I'm not even gonna, it is.
Well, I can speak from experience. I used to do it for Abercrombie and Fitch on Fifth Ave, if anyone is curious. And literally, I would hire every Wednesday, minimum of 10 people. They'd be gone and out the door within a week and a half. And that's $10,000 vested on each person's head when they come through those doors in terms of training and how much outsourcing material will come through.
Alrighty then. I feel real good about myself because my total hiring cost has been about, I'm gonna say between $900 and $1,200.
Okay.
And what happened is it would really be.
Does that include overhead for training? Because training, you guys, so even time, the concept of time is factored into that value.
You're right, but see, this is where we do stuff online. One of the things we're gonna do, and we're gonna charge, because it's gonna be training for you, but it's also gonna be a digital product for Hustlers Kung Fu. Because a lot of people wanna learn how to sell more stuff with eBay and Amazon. And this is something I did with a client, but since I wasn't talking to resellers, I didn't really promote it on the channel. So yeah, so this is the thing. Kind of like the storage auction business. What I do is so different that even when I lose, I can still make money. But yeah, practical hiring. So we'll get back in practical hiring. Give you the stages. Because people say, you can't do this. I was like, I did it. So you have number 1, you have a task. You have some kind of task for them to do. It may not, well, for me, it was real important that whoever I hired could do video because, this is what we do. So you have some kind of task. If you're a landscaper, ask them how they would cut a yard. And also, I'm gonna give you another task. I have from, writers, it was, for me, it was video, and then it was writing samples. And it's going worse with the writers. So the next thing you have is an interview.
Because with most writers,
They're not used to working as hard as I work.
most writers don't, unless they're like freelance and they're writing for several publications, they're not saving they're not archiving their stuff, or they're not like really writers. They're just they're bloggers, and they don't feel like that's a form to actually sing over.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you a story in a minute about that. Let's see. Radio controlled trucker. Oh, he's talking to Tiger Shark. You can get good interns from local community colleges. Mike Z, should we direct traffic to Amazon even though we're leading them to our competitors? The way that we're gonna do it, they should buy your stuff. Go ahead.
If that's where your product is, because of the amount of viewers that go through the click rate, which is why eBay and Amazon, it's hard to scale, but it's still a really great place to put your product, is because millions of people are in there anyway.
Oh no, they got the traffic, 100%.
They got the traffic.
My thing with eBay and Amazon is you create yourself a very high income job, and with all the limitations and stuff of a job. That's the thing. I think having her making the video shooting at your home and active imagination. Okay, listen. They're funny. Okay, so back to the practical hiring. You have to have them do something. When I had the warehouse, I would have guys, and I said, look, I'm gonna pay you money. I'm not gonna just have you sweating in the warehouse for nothing. But I wanna see how you can load that truck. Because when we would get these storage units, that was the money. And if someone misloaded the truck or put a heavy box of books on a box of china, that was a problem. Let's see. Okay, there have it. A lot of things that happens in the chats is they'll start having conversations, which is good. So then you go to the interview. Now this is some that I had to bring up. You want to have a co-interviewer. You get it, co-interviewer. I got a friend who's a recruiter, so I hired him part-time to help me with these interviews. It makes a big difference because you may be really good at what you do, but if you don't interview people frequently and often, then it's not a skill set and it can cause you a lot of issues. So this is hiring. This is it. This is what I did. Storage auction, office furniture, and Mac Daddy. So that's practical hiring. Yeah, VAs are wonderful. And let's see, I will go ahead into why I'm not using VAs. And it's this one number right here. 8%. Okay. I've had VAs. VAs are great. They're wonderful. They're awesome, but they're not physical. One of the things I'm going to do where I'm at in this office is run weekly classes. Probably in a few weeks or so. And I'm going to need people to help me. Now, VAs are awesome, like I said, but often there's a language barrier, often the grid goes down, and there's other stuff. Whereas if I have physical, people here locally, I can do much more. Interns rock.
They do when they're treated well.
Yeah, a lot of interns are abused.
They're abused.
A lot of them. And that's one of the reasons that I kind of stayed away from that, because the company's new and I go into a college and it's like, hey, I just started this company. They're not going to be real happy with me. So maybe later. But this is it, because I can build an agency to 3 million to 10 million in 3 years. Right? I went to a lot of events, I talked to a lot of internet people, and I found that I was making more money than a lot of these folks who were teaching you, who you see names I would recognize, you would recognize, because I'll teach you how they make money. And this is, it's called JVs. Joint venture. So this is how a lot of them make money. When you see someone's coming up with a new product, you'll start getting emails from all these people if you're on all these lists. And what they do is leverage each other's audience, which is smart. But they don't make pure internet money. They don't make it. When I launched Hustlers Kung Fu the first time, I did 300 grand in 6 weeks. No paid traffic, no affiliates, no joint venture, none of that stuff. It was just straight internet. It was pure internet money, which came from inbound video marketing. And I'm just gonna go nothing but YouTube. That was it. And that's the stuff that we're going to talk about in the future classes. This is really just an overview, because it's a lot more than we can get into in just one session. All right, what we have here. Leroy, I noticed that resume doesn't seem like a real factor to you. Personality, I hate resume, it's just a fiction. Do you read cover letters? Resumes are good. Resumes are real. But let's go with people. People come in all flavors. So you got someone with this resume, and it is great. And then they get the job, and they are terrible. I pay attention to resumes. I really do. But I have learned there is a disconnect between this and this. There's a big disconnect.
I can explain that briefly.
Go ahead.
It's because regardless, people.
Well, you can come around.
Okay. Hi, I'm back. So this disconnect that happens between great resume and job and actual like performance, this is all based on performance. There's just organizational structure. So let's say you get a person, that person is great. There are other jobs, let's say they're an introvert. This job that they're taking on requires them to be more extroverted. Like they have to engage with their actual teammates. They have to do a bunch of brainstorming. It's more of a person who needs to be an extrovert, like who needs to be a leader or, you know, a type of A personality. They're gonna be terrible at that job. Not saying that they can't, but it's just a characteristic difference. Like from here to here, from here to here, something between here and here has to happen, which means it's the interview. In this process between great and job interview, that's the time for you to meet the person, to scope out their personality, because let's say the job is, I had a job. I'm an actual prime example. I've had a job one time. I have a great resume, but literally I sat in this office. I did digital, pretty much I was a sales planner, and I worked in direct response. I sat in my office for 10 to 14 hours a day, and I talked for less than one. I was surrounded by people, and I'm a people-oriented person, so to come into my office every day and not have anyone to talk to, and the lack of support system, it affected my performance greatly, because one, I didn't feel like there was any support, there wasn't anyone to help me. All of these things were a factor in the terms of what can consider a person to be terrible or not perform well in that position. So terrible is pretty subjective. It's pretty much like, is this person fit for this particular role? Because they may be great at one thing, or unless you're able to figure out what this person's great at and put them in a role that they'll excel at, then they're gonna be terrible, of course. Like, so they can have a great resume because they've done great things in the past, but they can get a job and suck at it because it's not fit for them as a person. Not saying they lack the skills or the capacity, they're just not gonna perform well because you didn't scope the person out from the great resume to the job, which is your job as an interviewer or in the hiring process. So that's part of the steps, or that's what I think.
Okay,
did that work out? Or?
Yeah, that's fine. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a little more to it. I'm gonna leave that up there. What happens is jobs are systematic.
No,
So they're not really designed for various personalities of people. So you get in a job and it's essentially you go into this square hole, but say you're a star, say you're a circle, you're gonna suffer. So one of the things that I did with, let's see, let's keep it on the camera, is like this one. Now I'm a YouTuber 8 years. I got a lot of friends who are YouTubers. There are a bunch of them that would never take someone on their first day of the job and let them on the channel. They wouldn't do it. I don't care because there's money in experiments. That's gonna be, it's all whacked. But I'm dyslexic, so y'all know that. I forgot to turn on the do not disturb. Okay. All right, we're back. That was just. All right, let's see. Yeah, they're still there. Okay, there's money in experiments. Like, how is this live show gonna go? It was this, this, and this. Pretty much, a whole bunch of unknowns. But I'm a risk taker. So part of the reason a lot of folks are terrible is this. No real training. When I worked for Rent-A-Crate years ago,
the lack of support.
Oh, they ran the ad? That's wild. When I worked for Rent-A-Crate, they spent about 30 grand training me. They flew a guy down from Boston. We spent a whole week learning how to use Goldmine. Then the president of the company, Michael Shanley, he would sit in on my sales calls. And this went on for a few months. So he would fly down. He's like, hey, Glendon, how's it going? And I got scared, right? Because he was a motherfucker. You know, he would just like, this was how the sales meetings would go. First sales meeting. We were new. Lawrence, we were 2 new hires. And they flew us up to Massachusetts. And we were at this nice lake house. And then he's like, you don't give a fuck. You're lazy. I was like, what the hell have I gotten myself into? But he was really honest. He was very fair. But just like he was really hard, he would be really good to you. Because after they yelled at us, you know, we're going around the Boston Commons in a limousine. But I learned a lot from that. But this is why people end up being terrible. And also, people are people. Let's go back to the stream this morning. She felt weird. Now, I told her what the job was. I said, you would be in my house doing live streams. You'd be on YouTube. And I asked not once, not twice, 3 times, are you comfortable with that? Now, let's go back to hiring. Now, through all of this stuff, I now have this, which is very important. Feedback. So we're going to do the practical task. We'll call that the PT. We're going to do the interview. We're going to do the co-interviewer. And we're going to do the Valencia interview. We'll just put that, because what's part of training her is when because the goal is to hire 10 people. So we've got all of this feedback, and if we do nothing with it, we fail. So now I know with the practical task, before that is, are you comfortable? Because we're going to be here in this space, and we're still going to be in my home studio. And that's going to weird a lot of people out, and that's all well and good, but I need to know that before you even come to an interview. Because that's the reason that my cost of hiring is so low, because this practical task is going to knock out 70 to 90%. No, that's wrong. Let's see. Yeah, 70 to 98% of the people who are going to answer your ad. So you're going to be doing less interviewing, but you're going to be interviewing better candidates. So it saves you time, aggravation. Many people can't follow simple directions, don't want to, and there's a lot to it. So let's see. All right, what do we got here? All right, I feel like a lot of jobs are more geared for extroverts. It's one of the reasons I want to build my own business, because it's taxing on me because I am a little more introverted. Okay. All right, what do we got here? I'm an introvert. I can behave like an extrovert for pay. That's funny. All right, good content. Mobile Limitless, I think you hired a great person, Glenda. She's natural on camera, and she seems like a good compliment to what you do. Good stuff. Chris, I'm going to tell you why she's good. She has real sales experience. Did we even talk about what you had to do with Gucci? We talked at lunch.
Yeah.
Well, no. Go ahead. You get to come back on camera. And just explain what your whole process from the bad season to the good season with Gucci, and how you set up your own campaign.
So, I pretty much have worked in luxury sales, and so there's like different tiers of retail. There's pretty much mainstream, which you would consider like Kmart, Target, all of those things, and then you would have like a masstige, which is like a new level of retail, which is like your Zara's and your All Saints. I worked in luxury, and the premium luxury. I actually worked for a house, and what came with that is like lower foot traffic. I did get a base, but you had to pretty much build your own clientele and figure out the way you'd have to do it. And like most people didn't understand why I was so successful at it. I did it for a while, probably the youngest person in the building, and I ended up becoming like the interim manager because like all the other managers quit because they were stressed out because they couldn't make their numbers. So I was actually also hiring 10 people, and I was running a whole space by myself. So I was working 7 days a week, which wasn't even okay. But that's another story for another time. Basically what I did was I figured out how to sell to people by creating these PowerPoints and these virtual lookbooks. So I'm pretty tech savvy. I like graphics. I'm really good with graphics. I'm really good with videos and creating style and lookbook styling. I'm like a conceptual person. So this spanned my career into creating content and creating it on a higher tier level. So I basically was selling about $1 million to $2 million a year. About $1 million to $2 million a year in a small space for just at Gucci. Just through selling PowerPoints. Like I would literally, a good thing what I would do is create these PowerPoints every time something new came in, and I would pretty much blast it to my book or my client book. And like people would hit me back with emails, I'll take this, I'll take this, I'll take that. So I spend most of my day not on the floor selling, but after I had built up a clientele of maximizing that foot traffic that came in the door and building those relationships, I was just sending packages like just from emails alone. Like I was like sending text messages. I would ask whomever was there, can you take a picture and send it to me? Like I barely at that point had to do any real selling and like sitting at the door and asking people, because I had such an extensive book that I had worked on, and I had built these super profound relationships. Like these people weren't just clients or customers, like they were my friends. So I knew who they were, I knew what they needed, I knew what they lacked. And instead of me just selling them whatever, I was selling them stuff that I knew was coming in. I was like, oh, you'll need this. Girl, you're going to such and such next week, you'll need this. And that's how I was making my numbers. I was teaching that to some people, but it's really hard, and you have to like kind of figure out a way and a mechanism that works best for you when you come into luxury sales. Like it's not really for everyone, but once you master that beast, it's enough. Like you can literally, it's a substantial amount of money you can make working in luxury retail. So once I left the Gucci group, or the Karen group for all intensive proper purposes here, I ended up working with a bunch of startup brands, and I helped them in their branding and in terms of their buying. So I was going to your market shows out in Vegas, like Agenda. I was going to Liberty Fairs, like you. I still go now, like Market Week in Milan and Paris. Like I was going and I was seeing what the other brands was out there, seeing what was across the floor, and conveying these back to my clients and helping them assessing their buys and actually setting up contracts with these brands so that they weren't getting, oh thank you, so that they weren't pretty much being dicked over in a nutshell. Because what could happen is you're buying these things up front because everyone needs to make money. Like it's essential for every business to thrive, on the designer end, on the boutique end, on the department level end. Everyone wants to make money. Like that's the game of retail. It's the game of life. It's pretty much how you put a roof over your head and food on your table. But the thing is, you need to be aware of what your options are when you're going to the table. And since these were a bunch of startup, very fresh new brands, I had to kind of season them in on the concept of return to vendor. A lot of you guys don't know what that is, but basically if something doesn't sell in the store, the boutique has the option to pick it all up, send it back to the designer, and get a credit basically in advance to apply it to a new buy. Helps a lot of people out, trust me. Like you don't want to spend $10,000 and then be like, God, I'm stuck with all this terrible product. Like you want to be like, I spent $10,000, I need to send this back, I need to be able to put it into next season or whatever, a different item that's doing well. If you got more of this, send it to me. You want to be able to work so you can kind of work with yourself. So these were the things that I was doing, and at Gucci I kind of did the same exact thing. Things that didn't work, switched it out just to make sure that everyone was happy. I was happy, I was getting the money, they were happy with what they were getting, and then my boss clearly, sales director, operations plan, everyone was happy because numbers were being made and money was being made. So that's basically what I wanted.
Okay, cool. Appreciate that.
I'm buying again. I'm buying again.
This one. All right, that's what's called direct sponsor marketing. By actually reaching out to people and asking them and presenting them certain things. That's what she did. What? She looks like she could have sold a three-piece suit to Gandhi. All right. That would be Louis the Seller. He's back. Yeah, she answered the Craigslist ad. I don't think we talk about this because a lot of people are really sketchy about Craigslist. I have sold 9,000 things on Craigslist, rented houses, sold houses, rented space. I love Craigslist. A lot of people, it's really not the platform. It's YouTube works, Facebook works, Twitter works, Instagram works. All of it works if you know how to work it. So yeah, it's funny. Well, no, I mean, that was the reason, because like with David, after she left, we talked about that. The sales experience is strong because that's what allowed me to start this channel and keep going for 8 years while a lot of people gave up. A lot of people gave up. All right, so that's the hiring thing. All right, we may be back again today because we've been going for a little bit and I got to charge up my phone, but just kind of an overview of what I do, how I do it, and just to give her some information, because this comes back to the training, because nobody wants to train. Everybody is looking for, quote, a rock star, an A plus employee, all this stuff. Well, my thing is, if you could take someone with a good personality and some drive, you can turn them into an AA plus plus. You know, it's just a matter of investment. So look for it. Be sure to go on the other video, because it's probably not going to be on this video, but to get on the Hustler Kung Fu Live email list. And when we do the how to sell stuff on eBay, Amazon course, because she'll be in it, because she's got she's got her own eBay account and everything. So we'll show you how to use YouTube to make more money from your eBay store. All right, I'll catch you guys later.